Muy bien. Buenos días, buenos días, buenos días. Lo que necesitan, I'm going to do a quick rundown of what you need to have handy for today. We're going to correct this, and you'll see the questions on the answer key. So, this. Also, I'll put it up on the share screen. You will need, I think I sent this. I believe I sent this to everybody, but correct me if I am wrong. Everybody got a look at that page or not? No, okay, I did not. No biggie. We'll take a look at it during class. This will be part of our work together, and you'll get a link to it in the email afterwards. So, okay. Vale. Ok, vale. Vamos a empezar con las preguntas de tarea with the homework exercises from this. We'll take a look at the question and answer, and it's just kind of a recap, un repaso, a review, un repaso de las actividades de la semana pasada, from, you know, a review of last week's activities, which was how to ask and answer questions. So we're going to take a look at these questions that were in the book, and if you don't have the book, it's not a biggie because you'll see the questions on the screen. Okay, vamos a empezar. Let's get a start off. And remember, I'm going to preview this with anytime somebody asks a question with a you, and that you could be a tu verb. It could be a verb with usted. You need to have an answer with a yo. A question with ustedes, that plural you guys, in the question begs an answer with a nosotros verb. And if it's not in one of those two categories, that means you're asking about somebody else. Okay, so essentially when you answer a question about somebody else, you're still talking about that, whoever it is. So the subject and verb won't really change. You'll just be giving back the information. Okay, bien, vamos a ver. Canta usted en la ducha? Do you sing in the shower? We need to change that into a yo verb when we answer it. So it's either sí canto en la ducha, yeah, I sing in the shower, or no canto en la ducha. And when we answer negative in Spanish, that habit of double negative, having a no canto, that's just what they do. Double negatives in Spanish are a thing. Double negatives are okay, even encouraged. Oh, even triple negatives are okay. You know, double negatives in English cancel each other out, but that is not the case with Spanish. So, canta usted, canto in the answer. ¿A qué hora escucha usted la música? We need escucho, I listen to. Escucho la música, and now we need some kind of time. Escucho la música a las 3, a las 4, a las 9 de la noche. No sé, depende, right? Any kind of a time. And our telling of time always has an a las with the number. Okay? We did that quite a while back with time telling. A qué hora is more specific than cuando. Cuando, when, in a question could get an answer anything from a day to a year. You know, it depends on the context of the question. But a qué hora asks for an actual time, as in a clock type time. Viajas tú mucho? And that tú really in the question isn't even necessary, but it's there to kind of make sure people pair up viajas with tú. Viajas tú mucho? Do you travel a lot? Sí viajo mucho, or no viajo mucho. Ahora no viajamos casi nunca. Now we're never traveling now. Okay. ¿Quiénes estudian más? And here's one of those questions. It's not a tú question. It's not an usted or an ustedes question. We're asking about a group of people. So we just pick that group of people and the verb does not change from the question into the answer. ¿Quiénes estudian más? Más is more. Los muchachos or las muchachas. There are different ways you could answer that. Las muchachas estudian más. You pick one group. Los muchachos estudian más. You pick the other group. Or you say they're both the same. Los dos estudian igualmente. Or ambos means both. Either los dos, the two of them, or ambos, both. Estudian igualmente. But the verb estudian in the question does not change to a different form in the answer. It remains estudian. ¿Quién cocina bien en la familia de usted? And I don't really care for this la familia de usted, but that's going to lead us into our possession little lesson today. La familia de usted is a really kind of drawn out, dragged out way of saying your family. And there are shorter ways to do that, but it's grammatically proper. Okay. ¿Quién cocina bien? Who cooks well? So you need to name somebody. You pop in somebody's name, and then cocina stays the same. Now, if the person who cooks well is yo, then you do change the verb, right? Cocino bien. But otherwise, if you're naming a person, it's that person's name, and then cocina bien en mi familia. Or you can even just leave it there. Name the person. Si estás en un baile, if you're at a dance, bailas mucho. Si estoy en un baile, bailo mucho. Si estoy en un baile, no bailo mucho. Your affirmative or your negative answer. Okay. ¿Hay preguntas o no? Any questions on that?
Marilyn, I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
The one about cooking, and you may have already said this and I missed it. We both cook well in our house, so I looked it up and I found ambos cocinamos bien.
Okay, bien. Yes. Okay, so let's say that you want to say we are both good cooks, you and your spouse, partner, roommate, whoever it may be. Ambos, unless it's a group of two women, it'll be ambos. Ambos cocinamos, and then it does need to become a cocinamos. Bien. Ambos cocinamos bien. I'm going to try to get that to align better. Uy, a ver, like that. Okay. Ambos cocinamos bien. Sí. If you say we, correcto. Tienes razón. You are right. It needs to become a we verb, cocinamos. Okay. Who you mean by the context that drives the verb that you need with the answer. Bien? Okay.
Bien. Then the other question I had is the one about dancing, the last one. I don't dance much, so would I use that double negative that you were talking about?
Okay. There you probably wouldn't need a double negative. Just no bailo mucho, no bailo con frecuencia, you know, whatever you want to add. No bailo con frecuencia, no bailo mucho. Bailo poco. I dance only a little bit. Poco. Okay. Poco is not the same as pequeño. Pequeño is small in size, but poco is a little bit. Okay, bien. Más preguntas? Any other questions?
I have a question.
Okay, dime.
Number 2, the question, ¿a qué hora escucha usted la música?
Sí, sí.
Can you answer, escucho la música durante el día?
You can say durante el día. You know, in context, if there's no 1 hour, but it's just on a lot, durante el día would be perfectly fine.
Okay.
But durante el día would be perfectly okay. You know, the context always drives what you respond to if it's not any 1 hour of the day. Claro, sí.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Just like it would in any language, in English or whatever language you're speaking. Tienen buenas preguntas. You have good questions. ¿Hay otras preguntas o no? No, okay. Bueno, okay. Vamos a ver. Let's take a look. I'm going to take that off of share for a moment. Bien. Made my screen disappear. Here we go. Okay. Lo que vamos a hacer hoy, what we're going to do today. That question had the la familia de usted sounds a little awkward to me because I don't really hear people use that a lot. It was doing it because it was a textbook and because the textbook doesn't know who they're talking to when they're addressing you. You know, it's not a face-to-face familiar or formal situation. So that's what they do. But we are going to look at this idea of possession, how to talk about who owns something, because you hear these words thrown out a lot. You already have, and we haven't really formally practiced them. So we're going to take a look. The idea of possession, and that means telling in some way who owns something, can take on a couple of different kinds of structures. They can take on the structure of this is my husband's cup, and my husband's tells who it owns, who owns it, right? Who it belongs to. Okay, that's one form of showing possession, and sometimes we want to say that. You want to say, I need my husband's hat, I need my kids' shoes. Well, we put them out here to dry. Where'd they go? You know, you need to talk about something that belongs to somebody. So we need to talk about what happens with that idea we use in English of apostrophe S, my husband's cup or my husband's mug, because that apostrophe S does not happen. And we also need to talk about possessive adjectives, my, your, his, her, their, our, okay? And when we get into that, we start to step into that realm of adjectives again and having to make singular and plural elements line up or agree or match. And also in some cases, making sure that you have agreement. That means, again, matching up or coordination between in gender with the noun and the things that describe the noun. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at some slides on that. And again, you'll get the screen for this. We're going to have some videos on this as well. And we're going to talk about this idea of possession and what it means. Posesión en español. ¿De quién es? ¿De quién es? Of whom is it? We say whose is it? And it's not W-H-O apostrophe S, it's W-H-O-S-E. Whose? Whose is it? Or whose are they, right? And the way you ask, hey, whose is this stuff, is de quién es? De quién es? Or if you're talking about multiple things like a pair of shoes, okay, de quiénes son? De quiénes son? Or de quién son? Wow, there are many ways to say it. Can even be de quién son. It can be lots of things, right? It can be de quiénes, but it could be de quién son. Okay, en inglés. So we'll start with en inglés. John's, Laura's, that apostrophe S thing. And also it's going to go into the possessive pronouns or possessive adjectives, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't really matter, you know the name for them, it matters that you know how to use them. Okay, sometimes you just want to show who owns something. And please don't feel you need to take copious notes on this because you'll get the there we go. You'll get the link for this in the email later. So in English, Claudio's boyfriend, and I cannot tell you When I was teaching high school kids, we would go into second year, and second year people were still trying to say Claudia's novio, no can do. Claudia's boyfriend, the boy's mother. Okay. In Spanish, you need to phrase that as el novio de Claudia. El novio de Claudia. Claudia's novio is a big, big, big no-no. Okay, and we do that. We make those mistakes even though you've been maybe speaking and practicing Spanish a lot, because your English brain is totally wired to say it the English way, the apostrophe S, and it just splurts out of your mouth because it's the way you think. But Claudia's boyfriend needs to be phrased as el novio de Claudia, de Claudia. De Claudia is the replacement for apostrophe S at the end of Claudia's. Or the boy's mother. And wow, I've even got that wrong in English. Let me change that. The boys, and I guess sometimes they use apostrophe S in English, sometimes they use just the apostrophe, yeah? The boy's mother, la madre de los muchachos, la madre de los muchachos. So Spanish has no apostrophe S. And you got to really kind of fight that impulse to say it that way, because it's not naturally what comes to us. Okay. And the structure, the word order is the important thing. It's not hard to learn de and plug in the name of the owner, but we need to get used to the word order and how to plug that into our brain and make it come out of our mouth. You use the thing plus de plus the person who owns it. La casa de Raúl está muy cerca. Raúl's house. La casa de Raúl está muy cerca. It's very close. Uso el carro de Carmen. I'm using Carmen's car. El carro de Carmen. Es la oficina de los abogados. It's the lawyer's office. It belongs to all this group of lawyers. Es la oficina de los abogados. Me gustan las novelas de Stephen King. I like Stephen King's novels. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you're using a proper noun or just a tag word, regular noun like abogados. It doesn't matter. It's always de and the name of the owner. Fácil, no? Okay. So that's one way we have of talking about possession. Another way is using these little things called possessive adjectives, adjetivos posesivos. Okay. Not going to get into the grammar maze. It's a more abbreviated way. It means we're saying my, your, his, her, our. Okay, so we're going to look at the easiest ones to use first. You'll notice we've got two elements, our and your plural, that have nothing plugged in yet. Here's the easy part of my, your, his, her. They're easy because they have no gender. My is either me or mis. Tu, if you're talking to somebody you're on first name basis with, is either tu or tus. This tu is not the same as the tu with the accent mark. They sound exactly the same. Having an accent mark on that word tu doesn't make it pronounced, it doesn't make you pronounce it any differently. The accent mark, when you see it written, only means we're distinguishing it from another word spelled the exact same way that has a different meaning. So tu with the accent mark is you, the person. Tu without an accent mark written on it means your belongs to you. Okay. Mimis, tutus, susus. And in English, we might say his or her or your, and wow, English shows gender in his or her. Interesting, because we don't use gender very much in English at all. So his or her or your is su or sus. And wait a minute, their and your plural is also su or sus. Okay. Whoa, that sus thing is going to get confusing. We're going to go back to that in a bit. Ooh. Okay. Let's back up just a little bit. Possessive pronouns are just adjectives. That's all they really are. And remember that adjectives that end in O need to change to an A to make them feminine. We add an S to make it plural. So you get things like rojo, roja, rojos, rojas, alto, alta, altos, altas. Adjectives that don't end in O use the same form for masculine and feminine, okay? They might add S or ES for plural. So adjectives that don't end in an O might be a word like verde. Verde is the same for masculine or feminine, but you do need to make it plural, right? Verdes. Azul doesn't end in an O, so it's the same form for masculine or feminine. Azul, azul is the same masculine, feminine, but azules is how we make it plural. Caliente, caliente, hot in temperature. That, you know, ends in an A. That's not the letter O. So caliente is the same for masculine or feminine. We just make it plural, calientes. Marron, brown, is the same for masculine and feminine. Marron, marron. But we do sometimes need to make a plural, marrones. Okay? So that is the reason that me, su, or me, tu, and su don't get a feminine form. They're adjectives that don't end in O. So me doesn't get a feminine form. It can in a longer form like mine, but that's for a different lesson. But there's no gender with me, tu, su. You don't need to worry about feminine, okay? You only have to worry about making it plural. Me to mis, tu to tus, su to sus. Whoops. Okay. So when we talk about that in Spanish, we only need to be really concerned about the plural. The thing owned. The thing that you're talking about, my husband's mug. We're talking about a mug. That word mug or cup, it determines what I'm going to do with saying it's his. The thing that's owned determines whether you need a singular or a plural possessive adjective. Who owns it does not determine the gender. So in other words, if I want to use cup, taza, which is a feminine word, it doesn't, his cup doesn't make the word taza masculine. The fact that it belongs to a guy, all right? That word cup, taza, is going to drive what happens to all the words that describe the word, the noun taza. Okay, let's take a look at this. Mi clase, my class, mis clases, my classes. So that word classes determines what happens with the word mi or mis. Tu tío, tus tíos. Tu tío, your uncle. Oddly enough, when we make it plural, usually it could mean uncles, but it often means uncle and aunt, like as a couple. Okay, so tus tíos, tíos is plural. We need to make that word tus plural as well. Su gato, sus gatos. Gatos plural, I need sus to be plural. Okay. So, yay, no gender. The one thing out of this combination of me, tu, su, mis, tu, sus, which really, really starts to kind of mess with people's brains is the word su or sus. What about that word? Su and sus both can mean his, they can mean her, they might mean their, they might mean your formal, you are more belonging to one you, or your plural, you are belonging to a whole bunch of people collectively. So you have to pay attention to the context, okay, that we're using to figure out which one, you know, someone's means. I should really add someone's in parentheses. When it belongs to somebody, you need to pay attention in the conversation before that sentence, and then maybe even after that sentence, which one that, who we're talking about. Okay, so let's take a look at this. La familia tiene una casa en Payson. The family has a house in Payson. Su casa es pequeña. Su casa, without that context of la familia tiene una casa, su might be a confusing word without that sentence that comes beforehand. Because su casa could mean her house. It could mean his house. It could mean their house, a bunch of people. It could mean your house, a whole bunch of yous. It could mean your house, formal, one person. Okay, so without that prior sentence of la familia tiene una casa, that helps clear up who we mean when we say su casa, who we're talking about. Okay. Without that context, you might not know that su casa means their house. You follow what I'm saying, right? ¿Sí? ¿Entienden? Okay. So, su can be, por ejemplo, su apartamento could mean his apartment, her apartment, your formal or plural apartment, or their apartment. Okay. Even though we think in English her means a feminine person, that word apartamento is what drives this form for whatever word is a possessive here, the su word. Sus tiendas might mean his stores, like he owns a chain. Her stores, she owns a bunch of them. Your stores, their stores. So the context, the information before the sentence probably tells whose it is. Okay. Now we're going to get to the words we left out, the our word in particular. Our, unlike me and tú and su, does need to go into feminine forms because nuestro, the base word, ends in an o. So we're going to treat that word nuestro just like we treated rojo, or red, a descriptive color. Alto, tall, a descriptive adjective. We're going to treat nuestro the same way. Meaning, unlike me and tú and su, I need to go into gender with this word. So I need to look at the thing that is owned and drive that form of nuestro towards matching up with the noun it talks about. It'll become either nuestra or nuestros or nuestras if it must change. Okay, the thing owned, not the person who owns it. The thing owned determines which form you use for nuestro. So nuestra hija, our daughter, because daughter is a feminine noun, nuestra needs to match up with hija, nuestra hija. Plural, it would become nuestras hijas. Our daughters, we have more than one daughter. Nuestro problema, our problem. Problema, oddly enough, is a masculine word. That's kind of that tricky MA kind of word, right? Nuestros problemas, our problems. If problemas is more than one, because problemas is a masculine word, it has to become nuestros problemas. ¿Entienden? Understand so far? ¿Sí?
Marilyn?
Sí, dime.
Could I go back to the slide about the house in Payson? I just thought of a quick
claro.
question. Even though family denotes more than one person, it's still singular because there's only one house. Is that right?
The word su, you mean?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay, so this is the question that comes up most often. People say, well, family, there's a whole bunch of people. There's at least a mom and a dad. There are probably kids. Might be 3 people, might be 5 people. Can't I say sus casa? I can't. It's got to be su casa. Even though la familia means a whole bunch of people, the word that drives the their word is casa. The thing owned is casa. And that drives everything. That determines every form of the words that talk about casa. It determines what I need to do to say their or my or our. It determines that word pequeña, small. So I can't say sus casa, even though more than one person owns that house. Okay, and in English, we kind of do the flippy floppy, their house, meaning a whole bunch of people own it, right? And you know there is a bunch of people. But su casa here has to be a singular word because casa is a singular noun, and that's what it's describing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Gracias.
Yeah. Okay, and that is the thing in English that kind of can throw us off again. Like we want to say Claudia's novio, even though it's el novio de Claudia. This one too kind of messes with our brain in English because I cannot think of their as necessarily a plural word. The noun that there is describing determines what I do with that word there. Okay, so okay, vale, bien. I'm going to show you some a couple of videos where he talks about some things. We're going to have some photo practice, and we'll see if you've got any items laying about. You may want to think about this. I'm going to talk about who all these things belong to. If you have a similar item, it would be great to practice that. So if you've got an item of clothing handy, if you prepped for that, that would be great to make sure you've got it nearby. Vamos a ver, I've got to get my screen up for our first little video here. Oops, and bear with me because of a very odd thing that happened with Chrome. I need to put this into my other screen. Who would have thought there are so many complicated things? Okay, and I do not need closed captions here.
Muy bien, esta lección es para los posesivos en español. In español, when we use nouns, you'll usually notice articles in front of the noun. If you have forgotten what articles are, you might review the videos on definite and indefinite articles. But for now, we have el lápiz, un lápiz, los lápices, unos lápices, la regla, una regla, las reglas, unas reglas. If you remember, el, la, los, and las all mean the. Una mean one or a, and unos, unas mean some. But what if I want others to know who the object or objects belong to? That's when possessive adjectives come in. Por ejemplo, mi lápiz, tu lápiz, su lápiz. Mi regla, tu regla, su regla. Bueno, if those objects were more than one, mis lápices, tus lápices, sus lápices. Mis reglas, tus reglas, sus reglas. So when the object is one, the possessive adjective, mi, tu, or su, is also one. Por ejemplo, mi perro, tu perro, su perro. When the object is more than one, so is the possessive adjective. Mis perros, tus perros, sus perros. So don't think of them as my dogs, but rather my's dogs, or yours dogs, or his's dogs, hers's dogs. It's a little bit strange if you're really translating into English, though. Also notice that we have tu perro, okay? But we've also learned in the personal pronouns, tu with an accent mark. These are both pronounced the exact same way. The only difference is for the accent mark, when spelled, we know that it is you. Without an accent mark, it is your. If tu comes before a verb, or it's by itself, it's most likely referring to you. If it's right before a noun, it's referring to your. You also might notice the very last one, su, could be his, her, your, etc. So we have all these different meanings. For example, if I were to say su teléfono, it could mean Pablo's phone, Cecilia's phone, Carmen's phone, Juan's phone, your phone if I'm being formal with you, his phone, her phone, etc. For that reason, in times of confusion, we'll clarify with the object plus a de plus the person's name. With this example, el teléfono de Pablo, el teléfono de Cecilia, el teléfono de Carmen, el teléfono de Juan, el teléfono de usted, el teléfono de él, el teléfono de ella. Once we know whose we're talking about, that's when we can say su. So how about I show you a picture of some various vocabulary and the person who it belongs to, and you figure it out. Por ejemplo, you should have gotten mi cuaderno. Okay, te toca. We could first say el gato del señor Jordan. O, once we know who we're talking about, su gato. Tu camisa. Mi guitarra. Los pantalones de Héctor. Could also be sus pantalones. Tu hamburguesa. Mis jeans. El marcador de Conchita o su marcador. Tus tenis. El libro de usted o su libro. Mi piña. El vestido de Ana o su vestido. Muy bien, that's all for this video. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, bien. ¿Entienden o tienen preguntas? Do you understand or do you have some questions? Bien?
I've had a question.
Okay.
Could you give me an example where you would use something like it said, el libro de usted or el teléfono de usted? That seems awkward.
It does, yes, it feels a little awkward to me. It is not super common. That de usted would only be used if somebody thought when they're speaking to you that, oh, there wasn't enough context for, you know, for me to make it clear. So in order to make it clear, and that's why in that written question, it was, you know, de usted. In the homework item. You're only going to hear de usted if somebody isn't sure you know what they mean with that word su.
Okay.
And it is not really super common to hear that. Much more common to hear them using the me, mis, tu, su, sus. Much more common. Okay. Bien. That is one of those things that they always put out there as, you know, clarifying, but conversationally, you won't really hear it a lot. Okay. We're going to take a look at some visuals to see if we can practice this. Momentito. My little commands disappeared here. Okay. A ver. Let's take a look at this. Oops, algunos ejemplos, a few examples. If I want to say Kobe's t-shirt, okay, it won't be Kobe's. La camiseta de Kobe. if we understand, if somebody just shows you this picture and they say, su camiseta con el número 24, his t-shirt with the number 24, right? If they're pointing at this picture, they're more likely to just shorten la camiseta de Kobe to su camiseta, right? From the visual prompt, I mean his t-shirt, right? Su camiseta. Los compañeros de equipo de Kobe, Kobe's teammates, sus compañeros de equipo, and the de equipo just means team players, okay? Sus compañeros de equipo. Sus there means his. De Kobe, they're his old teammates. Sus compañeros de equipo. Sus needs to be plural, even though they're meaning, Kobe's one guy, it still needs to be sus because compañeros is a group of guys. Plural, es plural, ¿verdad? Sus compañeros de equipo, his teammates. Okay, otro ejemplo. ¿De quién es? Whose is it? ¿De quiénes son? Or ¿de quién son? Let's make it singular because we've only got one guy in the picture. ¿De quién son? El suéter del señor Rogers, Mr. Rogers' sweater. Su suéter, his sweater. But if I'm talking about his shoes, los zapatos del señor Rogers, Mr. Rogers' shoes, sus zapatos. Sus zapatos sus needs to be plural because zapatos, shoes, he's got more than one foot, therefore he's got more than one shoe, right? It can't be su zapatos, sus zapatos. ¿Ok? ¿Está bien? Vamos a ver. ¿De quién son? ¿De quién es? Los trofeos de Beyoncé. Beyoncé's trophies. Sus trofeos. Sus here needs to be plural because trofeos, trophies, is more than one. But sus still means her. They belong to one human being, Beyoncé. Sus trofeos. It's a plural word, sus, because trofeos is more than one award, right? El vestido negro de Beyoncé, el vestido dress, right? Beyoncé's black dress, su vestido negro, her black dress, su vestido negro. Su there needs to be singular because vestido is one thing. But sus, up in the first example, had to be plural because trofeos is more than one trophy. ¿Está bien? Está bien. Okay. Otro ejemplo. ¿De quiénes es el perro? ¿De quiénes son las hijas? Whose are they? Who do they belong to? El perro de la familia, su perro. Their dog. The dog is only one entity, so su needs to be a singular word. Su means their dog. Las hijas de los padres, sus hijas, their daughters. Sus here needs to be plural. Hijas is more than one kid. So sus hijas, their daughters. Okay? Without the context of the photograph, sus hijas could mean his daughters, her daughters, even your plural daughters, or your formal one person you, your daughters. That context of the photograph, we wouldn't need a de ellos. We don't really need that. We know it's sus hijas, theirs. Okay. ¿De quién? Let's make that one plural. ¿De quién son? ¿De quién son? Because in my prompt, I've only got one person here. ¿De quién son? Whose are they? ¿De quién? Of whom to whom do they belong? We say to whom do they belong? ¿De quién son? ¿De quién? Las bolsas de comida de la familia. sus bolsas de comida. Bolsas son bags, right? So these are big shopping bags. Sus bolsas. Sus bolsas de comida, they're food bags. They're grocery bags, you might say. Sus is plural because bolsas is more than one thing. Does that make sense? ¿Sí? ¿Entienden? ¿Entienden? ¿Tienen preguntas o no? ¿No? Bien. Okay. Vale. Let's take maybe, let's take another look. Mis ejemplos. I'm going to do my examples. Es una camiseta. Tengo aquí una camiseta. ¿Está bien? ¿Sí? ¿Pueden ver? Es una camiseta negra. Es una camiseta negra con un diseño de Frida Kahlo, la artista mexicana. Es una camiseta de recuerdo. It's a souvenir t-shirt. ¿Sí? La camiseta es de mi hija. Es de mi hija. It belongs to my daughter. So to say my daughter's t-shirt, es la camiseta de mi hija. But her t-shirt becomes su camiseta. Su camiseta, ¿sí? My t-shirt would have to be not su, but ¿qué creen? What do you think?
Mi camiseta.
Mi.
Mi camisa.
Mi.
If I wanted to ask, is this your t-shirt? Es
Tu
Tu.
camiseta. Tu camiseta.
tú. Es tu camiseta. Es tu camiseta. Now, what about that formal your? A formal your would be
Su camiseta.
su
Su.
camiseta. And Cynthia, you might ask, wow, would I say la camiseta de usted? If somebody has got a prop, they're probably not going to say that, because if they're talking to you and making eye contact, you know, if they're doing a su camiseta, you're going to know because of the eye contact. It's that context thing, which is sometimes the sentence before, which is sometimes just the physical contact and the you know, hey, I'm looking at you. You know it's Sue, right? But you know, those are important things to clarify, right? Somebody's talking to you, like, you know, you're browsing through in un mercado al aire libre. You're out at an open air market. You're looking at souvenir T-shirts. They're not going to say, "Oh, es la camiseta de usted." They're not going to say that. Es una camiseta. Oh, that's your T-shirt? You know, they hand it to you. Aquí está tu camiseta. Here's your T-shirt. They're not going to say, aquí está la camiseta de usted. They're going to say, es su camiseta, yours, right? But they're going to be polite about it because they're in a customer and seller situation, right? So they're going to be formal because they don't know you. Okay. Bien? Bien.
Marilyn? Yes, could you go back, the first example that you showed with the shirt where you actually identified it as a Frida Kahlo being on the shirt? What was the order again of how you said that?
Oh, to describe what it looks like?
Exactly.
Okay. Bien. Es una camiseta negra. Es una camiseta negra. Es una camiseta, and there are different ways to say this. Es una camiseta con un diseño de Frida Kahlo. Un diseño de Frida Kahlo. A design of her, ¿sí? En la camiseta. Bien. That de of structure is used to describe lots of things. It's used to show possession. It's sometimes used to tell what something is made out of. Cuidado. De has many uses. So, okay, otro ejemplo, another example. La camiseta con el diseño de Frida Kahlo, the Frida Kahlo design, es una camiseta de algodón. Una camiseta de algodón, a cotton t-shirt. The de there doesn't mean possessive. Una camiseta de algodón tells what material, algodón, cotton, what material it's made out of. So de might also be a clue to what something's made out of. Por ejemplo, la taza es de cerámica. That doesn't mean it belongs to ceramic. Es de cerámica, I'm telling what it's made out of. So de sometimes isn't possessive. Sometimes it describes material, content. Es una servilleta de papel. Una servilleta de papel. It's a napkin made out of
Paper.
paper. Es de papel. No es de tela, it's not cloth. Es una servilleta de papel. ¿Bien? O, por ejemplo, es una caja de metal. Es una caja de metal.
Metal box.
Right, and there the de isn't showing possession. De metal is telling what it's manufactured out of. Is de metal. Bien? So de has lots of functions in Spanish. Material might be one, you know, but possession might be another. Okay, a ver. Bien. Let's go through just a few more examples here. Unos ejemplos. We're going to do a few more examples and we'll see if you've got any examples to use yourself. I hope some of you
Learned
have
in the previous lesson on possessive adjectives. Imagine that somewhere over here hay un zapato, pero solo uno. Okay, chances are in this crazy situation, there's going to be a person out there somewhere with one matching zapato on the other foot. We could describe who this zapato belongs to accordingly. Es mi zapato, es tu zapato, es su zapato, o sea, es el zapato de Luis, es el zapato de usted, es el zapato de Pedro, es su zapato. ¿Ok? Ahora son dos zapatos. Entonces, son mis zapatos, son tus zapatos, son sus zapatos. O sea, son los zapatos de Luis, son los zapatos de usted, son los zapatos de Pedro, son sus zapatos. Muy bien, otro ejemplo. El coche. Es mi coche, es tu coche, es su coche, es el coche de María, es el coche de Pablo, es su coche. Ahora, es mi coche y el coche de María. Es nuestro coche. O es el coche de Dolores y el coche de Olivia. Es su coche. So, let's go over all these. Mi coche, tu coche, su coche, nuestro coche, su coche. One thing to notice, nuestro ends in O. Entonces, nuestro coche, pero nuestra casa, nuestros coches, nuestras casas. So with the others, we have to worry about something being one or more. But with nuestro, we also have to remember to make it masculine or feminine. That is, boy or a girl. Remember from the last video, all the different meanings for su? Su coche could be his car, her car, Guillermo's car, Susana's car, Linda's car, or your car if we're speaking formally, etc. That's why we have to use the longer version to clarify sometimes. El coche de él, el coche de ella, el coche de Guillermo, el coche de Susana, el coche de Linda, el coche de usted, etc. But notice, ay de mí, su could also mean their or yours plurally. So, su coche could mean his car, her car, Guillermo's car, Susana's car, Linda's car, your car formally, their car, Guillermo and Susana's car, Linda's and your car, etc. We could also use the long form in cases of confusion. El coche de ellos, el coche de ellas, el coche de Guillermo y de Susana, el coche de Linda y de usted, etc. Ay, ay, ay. Now, allow me to really quickly nip this in the bud before you do it wrong, because for some reason, this is a common problem. People think that what changes nuestro and su to plural is how many people we are talking about who something belongs to. For example, let's say that this is Juan and Diego's pet dog. We could say, es el perro de Juan y de Diego, es el perro de ellos, or simply, es su perro. Notice, the perro is one, and so therefore su is one. Incorrecto es sus perro. Correcto es su perro. Or if they have more than one dog, son sus perros. Bien? So again, the object you own is what will make the mi, tu, su, nuestro, or su one or more. Whew! After all those rules, let's go ahead and try it. Imagine there is this huge mess on the floor with a pile of people's stuff there. I'll ask either de quién es, who does it belong to, or de quién son, who do they belong to. Por ejemplo, de quién son tus calcetines. Translation, they are your socks. Te toca. Pause the video if you need more time and check the word bank if you aren't sure about a word. ¿De quién son? Son nuestras pizzas. ¿De quién es? Es mi cuaderno. ¿De quién es? Ok, es el teléfono de Pilar, es de Pilar o es su teléfono. ¿De quién son? Son las mochilas de Reina y de Ana, son de Reina y de Ana o son sus mochilas. ¿De quién es? Es el dinero de mis padres, es de mis padres o es su dinero. Notice, plural people, one thing, su dinero. ¿De quién es? Es mi gato. ¿De quién son? Son las camisetas de ellos, son de ellos, o son sus camisetas. Again, notice plural thing, plural possessive, theirs shirts. ¿De quién son? Son las hamburguesas de ustedes, son de ustedes, o son sus hamburguesas. ¿De quién son? Son nuestros libros. Muy bien, hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions about this video, and feel free to leave comments.
Ok, está bien. ¿Hay preguntas antes de empezar? Do we have any other questions before we start? ¿Sí o no? No? Okay. Do you have any clothing items that you prepped to talk about today? If you do, bring it on out. So now that you've had all this, you should be able to talk about it, maybe describe it, tell who it belongs to, tell me a little bit about it. Lo que sea, whatever it may be. Okay, Nora, ¿quieres empezar? You want to start, Nora?
Okay, I'm going to promote my baseball team.
Muy bien.
Mi camiseta negra con and I can't remember the word for design. That's why I was asking.
Diseño.
De San Francisco Giants.
Okay. No, es una camiseta de of hers, de su equipo favorito, ¿verdad?
Mhm.
Es tu equipo favorito, ¿sí?
Sí.
Bien, magnífico. Ok. Su camiseta favorita, her favorite shirt. Su camiseta favorita es de su equipo preferido, her favorite team. ¿Está bien? Muy bien. ¿Alguien más? Who else has got something? Diane,
Me.
bien. Dinos, tell us.
Es mi camisa, es mi camisa. Es color azul para, I looked up denim and camisa vaquero.
Vaquero, that's one way to say it. Sí, vaquero. Vaquero técnicamente es cowboy.
Cowboy shirt.
Pero but that's one word that's used for because denim was originally manufactured for people who worked on ranches. Exacto.
Las mangas son largas
Bien.
para mí.
Ah, para ti las mangas son largas. Manga es la parte de una camiseta, una blusa, una camisa que cubre el brazo. Que cubre el brazo, ¿comprenden? ¿Sí entienden? Muy bien, sí. Es una manga corta. Pero tú tienes, tus mangas son largas.
Mhm.
Ok. Sus mangas son largas. Her sleeves are long. Sus mangas son largas. Muy bien. ¿Alguien más tiene? Somebody else got something? ¿Alguien tiene más para describir o no?
I have.
Bien. Ok, Mary.
Es mi favorito bufanda.
Oh, bufanda favorita.
Mhm. Es de, I want to say silk,
Es de seda.
de seda.
Seda.
And me gusta le colores.
¿El color?
El colores. Yeah.
¿Te gustan los colores?
Los colores, yeah. Rojo, le colores rojo, blanco, negro, amarillo, I think. Amarillo. Amarillo, you say yellow?
Amarillo.
Amarillo.
Es una bufanda amarilla, negra, blanca y roja.
Mm-hmm.
¿Bien?
Yes.
Ok. Es su bufanda favorita. It's her favorite scarf. Es su bufanda favorita. But if I'm talking to her, es tu bufanda favorita. ¿Verdad?
Mm-hmm.
Bien. Bien. Ok. ¿Alguien tiene más? Anybody got another item? ¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Bien.
Tengo una calcetines.
Ok. Dinos un poquito. Tell us a little bit.
Calcetines son para de montañas.
Ok.
And son excelente en mi piernas. Mi piernas y mi pie.
En los pies. Ok.
Sí.
¿Son calcetines de algodón o de lana? Are they cotton or wool?
Is the cotton. No, wool. Lo siento.
De
¿Cómo
lana.
se dice wool?
Lana.
Lana.
Lana. Son de lana.
Ellos son lanos.
De
Lana.
lana. Okay.
De lana.
And
Hecho
wool is
de
one of
lana.
lana. De
Ellos
lana.
echemos de lana.
De lana. Bien. Sí, no podemos decir with what something is made out of. We can't use that like red or green or gray. We have to say de and the material it's made out of. De
So
lana.
you would say these are ellos hacemos de lana.
Son de
Are
lana.
made of the,
Son calcetines de lana. ¿De qué color son los calcetines, Scott? ¿De qué color son los calcetines?
negro y gris.
Son negros y grises.
Son negros, son grises. Sí.
Son negros y
Solamente.
grises. Ok.
Solamente.
¿De qué talla son? What size are they?
A las, would you say a las 9 como tiempo?
¿De qué talla?
Okay,
What
9,
size?
yeah.
Son
Son las 9,
son
más o menos.
grandes? ¿Grandes? Big?
Yeah, sí, grandes, más o menos.
Ok. Bien. Fantástico. Son sus calcetines. They're his socks. Okay. If it wasn't clear, I could say son los calcetines de él, but you've all seen it. So you would know if I said sus calcetines, they're his. Bien, magnífico. ¿Alguien más? Anybody else got something to show? Linda. Okay, you got to unmute yourself, Linda.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. You ready?
Sí, listos, we're ready.
Mi camiseta es azul y mangas largas.
Tiene mangas largas, bien.
Okay. Mi camiseta es para nadar.
Oh, para nadar.
Sí.
Es para nadar, es especial.
Sí. That's all I can do. That's all I practice.
Está bien. Ok. Hay camisetas especialmente, se dice en inglés rash guard o sí, algo, sí. Es de material, no son de algodón, they're not cotton. Son de una tela sintética, son especiales para proteger el piel, para proteger el piel del sol.
Sí, sí.
Bien, fantástico. Ok, ¿hay alguien que tiene otro artículo? Anybody else who's got another item? ¿No? Yo tengo una cosita más. Es una chaqueta. Esta chaqueta es mi chaqueta. Es mi chaqueta especial para usar durante el invierno aquí en Arizona. Durante el invierno en Arizona es azul y negro un poquito, sí. Tiene tiene un bolsillo especial, sí, en el pecho aquí, y tiene, claro, mangas largas, bien, y es mi chaqueta favorita para el invierno. Cuando doy una caminata, when I take a hike, cuando doy una caminata con mis amigos, uso la chaqueta en enero, en diciembre, en febrero. Marzo, no, hace calor, no puedo. Ok, ¿bien? Bien, fantástico. Ok, voy a darles, I'm going to give you something to do as actually as kind of a homework. I'll show you what it looks like, but I'll send this to you as, I'll send this to you in the follow-up email. I need to get my commands up so I can see my share screen here. Here we go. Okay. I will send you this. It'll be a little written drill, and This isn't done to confuse you, but to show you the relationship. If yo tengo, if I have something, it belongs to me, right? Okay, so it's going to show you about who owns it and then the possessive forms. And it's going to have a little written out drill. And all of these are going to be singular examples. Los posesivos singular. Singular, we'll make that actually plural, singulares, singular forms, okay? And the second half is, so we're kind of segmenting it out to get that singular and plural thing really ingrained in people's minds. Los posesivos plurales, we're going to talk about the plural type forms. So these are all going to be singular forms, just to make it a little bit more straightforward. And the bottom half is all going to be plural forms. They show you a bunch of examples, and then there are some things to practice. I'm going to show you that at the bottom, you need to go from singular to plural. So, mi amigo es italiano. Here's your example to start. Mis amigos son italianos. You're going to need to make a lot of changes in the bottom half. Because mi amigo going to plural alone needs to become mis amigos. But now, wait a minute. I can't say es anymore. I need to say son. And then that word italiano also has to change, italianos. The whole thing is going to be like a picture puzzle. Everything's going to have to fit together in the right form. Okay? So you're going to have to watch not just for the possessive, but for the itty-bitty verbs, for the adjectives. You'll have to kind of pay attention to that in that bottom half. Bien? Okay. I will send that to you via email so you can practice with that. And you can type it in. You don't have to like physically write it out. If you just want to look at it and say it in your mind, that's fine. The bottom half, probably you'll need to be thinking more about the changes there that you need to make, but okay. Exacto. I want to go a little bit into this is going to be just dipping our toe in. It will not be a long practice yet. This will be an introduction into some irregular yo verbs. Es importante. This is kind of important because there are a lot of common verbs in Spanish. Common verbs that will throw you a curveball. Often just for the yo form. They'll totally do what is expected in terms of conjugation in all the other forms, but they do an oddball thing just for yo. I can't tell you why this happens. It just is. But okay, we're going to take a look at what some of those verbs are. And there are a few of these that actually do make more than one change, but we'll take a look. And again, you'll get you don't need to take copious notes. You'll get this file via the email. Okay, formas irregulares, yo en presente. These often happen only for the yo form. They happen in present. That means when you start to talk about the past, these rules may not hold any longer, but just in present. Okay, sometimes we call these, for English speakers learning Spanish, go verbs, because a lot of these, although I'm not going to say all, because it isn't all, but a lot of these verbs that have an irregular form just for yo, a lot of them have a go for the yo form. So when I would teach high school students, they'd remember, oh, go verbs. Yeah, I know what those are. They fall in this category, okay? And here's the first common verb that will do this, hacer. Hacer means to make or to do, depending on the context. You would think you get rid of the ER and it would be ako, but the yo form is not ako. It's hago. It's got a G-O, hago. But all the other forms that are not yo, they keep the HAC part of the verb when you use it. So hago, I make or I do, but haces, hace, hacemos, haces only in Spain, hacen. So all those other forms son regulares, they're regular. It's just the hago that breaks that pattern. Salir, to leave or to go out. Okay, well, this is a verb we use a lot. You know, I'm going out for coffee. I'm going out to do grocery shopping. The train is leaving. Okay, my friends are leaving. We need this verb a lot. And salir is an IR verb. It's going to be conjugated for everything except yo in a regular way, but for the yo form, it's salgo. Salgo. S-A-L, we take off the IR, it's go. Salgo. But the other forms will be S-A-L, and then we just use the IR endings. Sales, sale, salimos, salís only in Spain, salen. Okay. Another go verb is pongo. Pongo, to put or to place, to put something in a location. On top of the table, under your bed, you know, stuff like that. Okay, so it's not pono, P-O-N-O, it's pongo. But that G-O does not happen in the other forms. Pones, pone, ponemos, ponéis, ponen. Okay, so hago, salgo, pongo. Okay, these are important because when we speak saying I'm making something or I'm doing something, I'm going out, I'm putting something somewhere, you need that go form. Also, you're going to hear these go forms when people do a formal command with you. So if they tell you, you know, leave through this door, like you can't go out the back way, leave through this door. If they use a command, it's going to retain that G sound. So salga, salga por allá, go out through there. Salga por la puerta principal, go out through that front door. So you're going to hear that g thing come in, not just for y'all, but later on for commands. Okay, let's look, and this won't look quite so tiny. It had to be smaller to fit these on. Sometimes these go verbs also happen with verbs that are irregular in other ways, and you'll see what these look like. Traer is another verb that means, it means to bring. And the yo form is not traeo, it's traigo. And it's not just go, it's I-G-O, traigo. But the other forms will follow the ER conjugation forms. Traes, trae, traemos, traen. Okay, to bring. This verb traer is often used in a restaurant if you ask somebody to bring something to you, okay? And again, in the command, you'll hear that go thing, but instead of being go, it'll be a ga. Tráigame por favor. Tráigame por favor. Bring me, please. Tráigame por favor otra taza de café. Please bring me another cup of coffee. Tráigame por favor. Decir, to say or to tell, is a really common verb. It gets a go form for yo. Digo. And this verb, unfortunately, is irregular all over the place. So you'll see where there are things underlined, it means, wait a minute, there are all kinds of oddball things with the conjugations that don't follow what's in the stem, the main part of the verb. Digo, dices, you say, you tell. Dice, he says, he tells. Decimos, we say, we tell. That's totally normal for their conjugation rules. Dicen, they say, they tell. Tener, you have seen before. Tengo fits in this go verb category. Tengo is the yo form. I have, tengo. And then in the other forms, the other underlined vowels you see on this page have to do what we call stem changing verbs. We actually won't do these until the formal summer session, but this is just so that you see the go, yo forms. Tengo, right? But tienes, you have. Tiene, he has, she has. Tenemos, we have. That's a regular form. Tienen, they have. Venir sounds a lot like tener because T-E-N and V-E-N. Vengo, vengo, to come. Venir, to come. Vengo, I'm coming. Vengo, but vienes, viene, venimos, vienen. It's also got what they call the stem changes. We'll see those again later on in the summer. Oír, to hear. Oigo, I hear. I hear. Not I'm listening to, I hear. Oigo, oyes, oye, oímos, oís, oyen. So you can see these have some odd things here. This word oír es importante. It's an important word. When you hear, okay, when we use that conjugation oigo, I hear, again, if somebody is giving you a command, hey, actually just the word hey, to get your attention becomes this word, a form of it. If somebody is trying to get your attention for you to listen to them, they'll say, oiga. Oigo means I'm doing it. Oiga is a command, O-I-G-A. So if somebody yells at you, oiga, they're saying, hey, I'd like you to pay attention to me, please listen up. It's like listen up, you know, we'd say listen up, oiga. But it's a polite way to do it. Oiga. So somebody's trying to get your attention if they yell that at you. Oiga. Bien? Okay. These are not go verbs, but they are irregular for yo. You've seen soy and estoy and voy. You have not seen doy yet. We'll come back to that at a later time. The big important ones are the go verbs for now from this page 2 and from this 3rd page. Okay, now we're going to go down to these. These are not go verbs, but they are verbs that are irregular for yo and only in the yo form. Ooh, and my spacing got goofy. Google did a goofy thing. Okay. Ver, to see. The yo form keeps the E. Normally we drop the ER, but to say I see something, bello, we keep the E out of that part of ver, which normally we would have dropped. Bello, and the other forms will be, son regulares, they're regular. Ves, ves, you see, ve, vemos, ven. Okay. These last two are super, super important because so many times we want to say or need to say, I know or I don't know. Saber means to know facts, to know stuff, to know information, or to say that you know how to do something. I know how to drive, I know how to swim. Okay. I know how to speak Spanish. I don't know how to speak Italian. All right. You would think that the yo form for saber should be sabo, but it is not. The yo form for saber is completely wacko irregular, se. And in written form, it carries an accent mark. Okay. That accent mark does not change how we pronounce it. It's just in writing form. There's a different word, se, which is really common, but it means something else. So, sé. Yo sé, I know. Lo sé, I know it. You want to say, I don't know. No sé. No sé, I don't know. Okay. The other forms of ser are going to follow that rule of S-A-B-E-R. We take off the E-R, and we're left with sabe. Sabes, sabe, sabemos, saben. So I know, sé, yo sé. You often hear it as a lo sé, and the lo just means it. I know it. lo sé. But I don't know, no sé. Importante. You know, if you don't know the name of something, you don't know whatever information, that's how you communicate it, no sé. Okay. Spanish, sadly, has two, has two verbs for to know, and actually many languages do this. If you want to say you know facts or just stuff, information, it's a form of saber. But if you want to say that you know people or that you're familiar with with a place, like you know your way around a town, it's a different verb, and that verb is conocer. Conocer is to know for people or to be familiar with something, some topic, like in a super thorough fashion, like in a scholarly way, or to be familiar especially with places. To say you know your way around a place is conocer. Conocer for the yo form is conozco. C-O-N-O-Z-C-O, C-O-N-O-Z-C-O, conozco. Conozco. S-K-O. Conozco. Okay, conozco, I know. No conozco a ese hombre. I don't know that man. Lo conozco, I know him. But the other forms will not get that Z letter or that ZC sound together. It'll just form by conjugating conocer the regular way. Drop the ER and add the usual ER endings. Conoces, you know. Conoce, he or she knows. Conocemos, we know. Conocen, they know. Okay. So these are some of the yo verbs that are important. The really super important ones for you to know now are saber, sé, conocer, conozco, ver, veo, I see, because sometimes you want to acknowledge somebody, oh, I see it, right? All these verbs you've used for a really long time. Soy, estoy, voy. Doy you'll learn later. And a lot of these go verbs. These go verbs just happen in the yo forms. ¿Está bien? We good? And we'll practice these with some visual cues next week. Probably the most important thing will be to know the yo form and to just know what these infinitives mean. But these are common verbs just in Spanish. You will get in the email the file for all of these. You will get the file with all of the possessive rules and the examples we had with the pictures, okay? And you'll get the little homework file with the fill in the blanks stuff, which you can just do verbally with yourself if you so wish. But we'll open up with that possessive part. ¿Está bien? ¿Sí? ¿Entienden? You understand? Bien. Okay. Vale. Muy bien. So, we'll do the recap on the possessives when we start up next week. We'll do a little practice with some of these irregular yo verbs. And that's it for now. Eso es todo, okay? ¿Está bien? Okay. I would like you to maybe bring one additional item. It can be clothing. I kind of specified clothing, but it could be anything else that belongs to somebody. And maybe bring it to just practice talking about it, what it's made out of, whose it is, who it belongs to. Describe its appearance a little bit or what it's made for, what we use it for. Any old items, it could be scissors. It doesn't have to be clothing next week. It can be any item, but you know, of course, keep it simple. any item to describe, do a short description. ¿Está bien?
And Marilyn, you wanted that to be an item that belongs to somebody else, not us?
It can be anybody's.
Oh, okay.
So the possessives, it could be any, it could be ours because it belongs to everybody in your family. Could be a photo of a pet, could be anything. Cualquier cosa, any old thing at all. But short description, I don't expect you to speak on for 5 minutes at a stretch, but just a little short description. And be prepared to maybe ask your classmates questions about that item. Okay? For example, cuando usas la chaqueta, when do you use the jacket? Uso la chaqueta cuando estoy afuera, when I'm outside. Okay? ¿Está bien?
Bien.
Okay? If you got any questions about that over the week, feel free to email me. We're all good. ¿Está bien? Vale. Okay. I think we'll leave it at that. That's a good ending point for today. And you'll get all the files in email. ¿Está bien? Okay. Vale, nos vemos la semana que viene. We'll see each other next week. I'll do also a quick shout out that about 2 weeks from today will be sign up time formally with Scottsdale for the summer classes, which will start June 22nd via Zoom again, same platform. But 2 weeks from tomorrow, actually, will be the first sign-up day for registration. Okay? ¿Está bien? Vale, magnífico. Cuídense, take care of yourselves, cuídense mucho. Y nos vemos la semana que viene, el lunes, ¿no? Vale, hasta luego.
Gracias.